Ladies and gentlemen, first of all, I would like to welcome you all to Young Scholars, the seminar series. Today we have guests from Durham University, Abdullah Ahmet Saçmalı. Abdullah Saçmalı entered Boğaziçi University in 2002. He received double major degrees in sociology and history departments in 2006. He did his master's in the history department at the same university. I know him from those days. And then he left for us the USA and joined the School of Middle Eastern and North African Studies at the University of Arizona. In 2013, he received his second master degree from this institution, and since March 2014, he has been a PhD student in the School of Government and International Affairs at Durham University. And Abdullah will talk about his exciting project, Lexiqamus, which is an online tool for deciphering illegible letters in Ottoman manuscripts. And the title of this talk is very meaningful because as a researcher, I don't know how many times I asked the simple question, what could that word be? And while I grapple with the Ottoman text, and I thank to Abdullah for coming on behalf of Yunus Emre, and you can start.
Thank you very much for this introduction. I'm Abdullah Saçmalı, and I'm gonna deliver a talk about my project, which is called Lexiqamus. And by the way, it's a great pleasure to be here, to be your guest in London. I just came all the way from a northern city, Durham. Actually, I'm a student of political science, but this project is about Ottoman Turkish, deciphering the legible words in Ottoman Turkish in the manuscripts in Ottoman archives, for instance. So you can ask this question, then why am I interested in Ottoman Turkish if I'm a political scientist? Am I a stranger to the field? Actually, it's not the case, because my father was my first teacher when I was 6-year-old. And he taught me first the Ottoman Turkish. Then I have been, and then I graduated from a history department as well, from Boğaziçi University. And I have been interested in Ottoman Turkish all the time. In my graduate years as well, I took some courses on paleography from Anthony Greenwood, I think you remember, from ARIT. He's a distinguished professor, and he taught us some different versions of Ottoman Turkish, which is called Siyakat and Divani, the most complicated versions, let's say, the calligraphies. And what does it do? So what is the main aim of this project, which is called Lexiqamus? By the way, I just would like to talk about a little bit about the name, the title of the project. Where does it come from? It's called Lexiqamus. Can you make a guess? Do you have any idea? And how does it sound to you? Is there anybody here who would like to say something about it? But if you do not know about it in advance. Does it sound familiar? Lexiqamus?
Kamus is a dictionary, I think.
Yes.
But I don't know lexi means.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. Another idea? Okay, so you are right about that. Kamus is actually the whole words in a language, and it's an Arabic word. And lexicon is the synonym of kamus in English. So it has the same meaning, the whole words, and in a language. And so this is the combination of these two different words, actually the same, but they sound differently. So it's combination, because we are just gonna look a lot the words in the whole words in a language. So what does it do? It deciphers illegible words. Its main aim is this one. I'm gonna go into the details, how it's gonna work or something like that. And it saves time, and it allows the readers readers of these Ottoman manuscripts, to look up words in different dictionaries as well. And how did it come to my mind? I have long been interested in inventions, not just Ottoman Turkish. So in Turkish we call zihni sinir. I don't know whether you have heard about this one. So I have been riding a solo wheel, for instance. I just get to school from my home back in Durham on a solo wheel. I think you came across with this interesting creature in London very often. I don't know whether you have heard or whether you have seen it or not. But I like these kind of novelties. So in this regard, Lexiqamus is one of these novelties in my world. And as I said, I have been reading manuscripts in Ottoman Turkish for a long time. So I am in the field, I come across with the difficulties, I experience them. So, and I was looking for an easier way to read them. There should be a way to read and to decipher these shapes. I thought this was my initial thought. And we used to use conventionally the classical cliché dictionaries, but they were of little help because the primary aim of a dictionary is to provide the readers with the meanings of the words. So if you are able to read a word, and if you would like to look up the meaning of this word, then you just go and look it up in a dictionary. So in order to make this happen, they sorted all the words in an alphabetical order, very logically. But the problem is this one. If you are not able to read the word, what are you going to do? And if, for instance, what if the very initial letters of a word are missing? How are you going to find this one in a dictionary? You do not know the first letter, second letter, third letter. So where are you going to look? Are you going to read the whole book from the first page to the last? And what if it's not there? Are you going to go to the second dictionary, third one, fifth one? So it's a big problem for us. But I noticed that there are some clearly legible letters in these illegible words. So I thought these can narrow the possible results down very much. And it sounds to me like that if I receive some help from my computer scientist friends, we can make it easier, I thought. So then why don't we develop a software? So we're just gonna enter some letters, the legible ones, into the system. And also we are gonna inform the program about the unknown letters, and then it's gonna come up with a possible words which are matching these criteria. Because at the same time we do have the list of the whole dictionaries, the Ottoman Turkish dictionaries as well. So they are limited. Even if, for instance, you have 2,000 combinations, they are not in the dictionaries. So we are trying to find the intersection set of the possible words and the words in the dictionaries. I just noticed that maybe you're not with me right now, but you're going to be with me, I assume, in a second. So this is the short story of the emergence of Lexiqamus and how to use it. Users fill in legible letters in the boxes and put an asterisk for illegible ones. And having clicked the search button, it provides a list of possible words, going through a list of approximately 1,700 entries. And these are the dictionaries, list of the whole ones. And maybe you have heard of this Kamus-u Türki, Lugat-ı Naci. These are the most famous ones. And by the way, initially we thought that we should rely upon the entries, the entry list of Lexicon. Where is it? The James Redhouse, a Lexicon, Turkish and English Dictionary. So, but then we just we were able to find the whole list of the other dictionaries as well, and we integrated all these entries to the database, and now we are able to go through the whole 19 dictionaries. And this means that normally it's almost impossible to find any word that you are looking for, unless there is a problem, a material problem with regard to the database entrance. And here is the glossary of Lexiqamus. This asterisk is very simple. The asterisk is illegible one character. It stands for an illegible one character. And you know, this character, the second one, normally it stands for infinity, but here illegible multiple characters. An empty box is space, and these we call them dish in Turkish, or tooth, or diacritical marks. And you know, for instance, without a tooth without any dot can stand for all the other letters. I think you can see Hamza, Ba, Pa, Ya, Nun, Ta, Peltek, Ta. And the other one is a tooth with a dot, Nun, Ta, Tha, and Hamza. And a tooth with a dot but below it. So, and it's Ba, Ya, and Pa. These are the characters, the symbols that we use. Multiple possible letters. For instance, you can come across with a word whose very first letter is unknown, or you are a little bit confused about it. You see something and you can narrow it down, but you cannot pinpoint this shape, and you cannot match it with the letter. And you see that it might be a vowel, it might be a dal, and it might be a ra. If you're familiar with Ottoman Turkish, most probably you're gonna say, ha, yes, this is the problem, because most people confuse them. And I think it's not our problem, it's the problems of katibs, the scribers. They do them, you know, they use the same shape for the different three letters. So we then put the whole, all of the possible three letters, Wal, Dal, and Ra, and you do have no idea about the second letter, for instance. And put an asterisk for it, and you're sure about the third letter, let's assume, and it's a Ra, and the last ones, again, Dal and Dal. You are not sure. And it says that it takes no more than a second, and goes through all these 19 dictionaries, and the program says that your word is valid. Another second one. We do have only one possible word for these criteria that you have entered into the system. Another one, again, ha and h, and with regard to the second letter, you say that I see a tooth there, and at some dots, one or more than one dot, just under the tooth. And about the third one, I'm not sure about even the number of dots, for instance. Above it, below it, you don't know, because from time to time you can confuse the dots of the other letter as well. So you just put only one tooth, and also with regard to the last one, you put another tooth. Normally we do have 294 different combinations. They all fit. And just make a guess how long it's gonna take if you're just gonna look up for all these different combinations. First, for us, after a certain number, it becomes impossible to determine the combinations. You know, after 10 or 15 or 20, how are you going to calculate it? But again, the program, the software, the algorithm does the tough side for us, the tough aspect of it. And it goes through again the whole dictionaries. Now it takes a little bit more time because of the number of combinations, but still under 2 seconds. And it gives us the possible verse lists. Habib, Habin, Habid, all the others. By the way, do we have an internet connection on this computer now? Sorry, okay. Another example. So this is This is an archive document. And please try to look at the word in the circle, the red circle. Let's take a closer look. Do you have any idea about this word? What can it be? If you are a little bit familiar with Ottoman Turkish, we have some suspicions. There might be lots of things. For instance, with regard to the first one, do we have 2 dots or 1 dot? Are we sure? No. Because both of them are legitimate. If it's a ta, it's okay. If it's a noon, again, we cannot object. It might be. But for instance, we can't say that it's a G. It's a noon or it's a ta. Either of them. And what about this one? This dot or these dots? Again, we are not sure about this one. And what about this letter? What do you think? For instance, it looks like a fa, and it might be a qaf, because if we have 2 dots here, then it turns out to be a qaf. And it might be a ghain as well. We do have 3 options. So, lots of different possible words this means. And also, as far as I see, we are not familiar with the word, that we cannot narrow down the possibilities based on the meaning. If we are not familiar with the word, with the context, then another problem occurs. Okay, let's just enter all these different inputs into the system. Ta or noon, the first one. Elif, we are sure about that one. Just check again. Yeah, we have an elif there. And lam here, and I think we are sure about the 3rd letter as well. But with regard to this one, we do have some suspicions, some doubts. And qaf or fa, and we are sure about the last one as well. 12 different possible combinations of this word we have, normally. But our word is talika, only one. Now try to think of it. Normally, you are supposed to look up dictionary at least 12 times. And you're gonna fail in 11 of them, because there are no words. For instance, it might be a talifa as well. You're gonna go for, look up for the word talifa, and nalifa, talika, talebka. These are all within the result list, the possible combinations of the words. It saves you lots of time. And talika, it's a light covered vehicle open at the sides. If you go and click on the link, of the dictionary link, then you're gonna find the meaning there. Another example, for instance, here we have some missing letters at the very beginning of the word. Now at the end, by the way, I made up this one. This is my handwriting. It's not from an Ottoman archive. And the word is this. Can you read this one? Ta, dot, ya, kaf. It's tazyik. In Turkish we use this word. Or in Arabic it's tadyik, but we say tazyik. Again, this is another one. You see this word here in the red circle? Let's take a closer look again. Do you have any idea about the word? Let's contextualize the word. Memaliki mahrusede tab ettirdiği halde, it goes like this. Something here, and it should fit into the context as well. We see some words there, but we are not sure. For instance, the first letter, is it a dal, or is it a vav, or is it a ra? The second one looks like a ra. And the third one, again, we are not sure. And the last one It might be a nun, but it might be a te as well. Yes, we enter all the possible ones. Again, dal or waw, ra, dal or waw, nun and ta. And it comes up with only 2 words then. And if you look at the meanings of them, then you're gonna conclude that the word should be derun. So then, derunu memaliki mahlusede. So within the Ottoman Empire, it says, within the protected domains, another translation. Okay, this is the end of my presentation. Thank you very much for your patience. If you have questions, you are most welcome to ask.
Thank you, Abdullah.
You're welcome.
This is a great project. If I bring the dictionaries you mentioned, it seems impossible to carry them, and you clearly understand the importance of the project for the researchers, and it saved big time. It's really, really big time, and I think it will be contribution to maybe acceleration of the Ottoman studies.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, and come to question and answer session. Do you have any question? Yes, please.
Actually, I have one. I have been using this Lexiqamus for, I think, 2 months, and it was really helpful for my test. I've been using it, but there is a book in it. I think we find the word and then we try to find the meaning of the word. The word sometimes disappear. Have you ever been
I see.
so that?
By the way, the primary objective of this software is to find, to determine the words. Unfortunately, at the moment, we are not able to give the meanings of the words. So because of that, we provide the users with a link, the external links to the other dictionaries. So I'm sorry for this one, but as I said, I do not have any control over the other dictionaries. But this is also within our project. In a short period, hopefully, we are going to add some dictionaries, and hopefully we are going to provide our users with the meanings of the words as well. But it's going to take a little bit time. Sorry for this one. And as I said again, Lexiqamus is independent of the other dictionary websites, at the moment at least.
Yeah, another question?
Do you think any application for phones?
I think, but currently I'm occupied with my PhD dissertation, so it's gonna take a lot of time as well. At least, we should allocate some time to write an article, for instance, a month or something like that. And I do not have that much of time right at the moment. But yes, this is also one of our aims as well. We would like to do this one. If you would like to get some financial assistance, we are just gonna broaden the project. And also, again, in the near future, we're gonna adapt this same software to the English language as well. So this is not the translation of this website to English, but this is the adaptation of this software to the English manuscripts. Because it's just an idea, you can just adapt to it any language. If there are some illegible letters, illegible words, then you can do this one. And for instance, I know at my university, Durham University, British people take some courses on paleography of English in order to be able to decipher the English words in history, 16th century English, for instance. If you would like to study the history of South Africa, India, Sudan, for instance, so then you're going to come across with, you should tackle with the manuscripts in English and also other languages as well. But now we are focused on Ottoman Turkish, and hopefully, and again in the near future, we're going to add Persian and Arabic as well.
Yeah, another question? I have a question, Abdullah. I am sure you receive many messages for users and how their reaction and how many users do you know they using your project?
According to the Google Analytics, thousands of people just used and have been using this website, and also Oxford University, for instance, announced the project. McGill, Duke, some prominent universities all over the world, they just recommended the software to the researchers. And yeah, I have received some very encouraging, let's say, emails and posts, and some prayers that I have not heard of before, for instance. So I'm flattered and also encouraged by these kind of things, and also some criticisms as well. So they all help to make it better and to fix some problems, to fix some bugs. So with the encouragements and with also the constructive criticisms of the users, I hope it's gonna continue to help the researchers.
Another question. Thank you for attention. We hope to see you all for the next session in March. Thank you again coming.
Yeah, I thank you very much for being here, and thank you for patience as well.
Thank you.